Hi, I'm Jimi Hendrix, and this episode is called Follow Up and Follow Through with Ray Higdon on Empower Your Pattern 2.0. I'm Jimi Hendrix, member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and Success, Confidence, and Thrive Coach. I believe there are patterns to help us to receive more, help us to live a better and extraordinary life. I will give you some temporal and spiritual tips how to overcome these life. So if you come with me, I will show you these patterns. Get ready to walk in. Let's go. Hello, everybody. Pattern Realm. I want you to walk into the network respite area. Satisfaction guaranteed. Today we're going to hear from a man of wisdom in the networking business. His name is Ray Higdon, God-fearing man. I want you to listen to what he has to say about follow-up, and then I will follow with some of my wisdom.
I'm going to share with you a story of how a guy lost tens of thousands of dollars a month by not following up. Why bad follow-up is better than no follow-up. And then I'm going to teach you my follow-up system. So when I got serious about network marketing, I was dead broke. I'd lost it all in the real estate market crash of 2008, 2009, being chased by bill collectors. And to be honest, I was pretty deeply depressed. You know, that'll affect you. And I really didn't know what I was going to do. And someone invited me to a meeting where it was network marketing, which, to be honest, I didn't want to do, but I really was pushed into it because I didn't see any other options. In that company, long story short, I became the #1 income earner. And I had dozens of six-figure earners in my team. I made millions of dollars with that company. And then one day, I was at a company event, and I was the #1 income earner, had the largest team. I think at that point I had about 85% of the organization was in my team. And a guy comes up to me and says, "Hey, how's it going?" And I'm like, "Hey, man." And he looked familiar to me, but I didn't really know who he was. And he said, "Dude, I'm the guy that told you about this." And I'm like, "Oh my God, that's so funny." You see, this guy had told me about this company probably 6 months before I even joined, but he never followed up. Had he followed up and gotten me at the right time, which it was the right time, he would have made hundreds of thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars residually a month. If you're not following up, I'm telling you right now, you're working too hard, #1, because most people, they don't buy on the first engagement, most people, and you're losing so much money. So bad follow-up is better than no follow-up. You can, and I've seen this, you can suck at sales, but be good at follow-up, and you will do just fine. Now, there's a gentleman that I've learned some from, and that is Grant Cardone. And I worked with Grant Cardone. I actually gave him $100,000 for 6 hours of his time. A little crazy, right? Let me tell you, in that first hour, he gave me an insight into how we were specifically running events that made me over $1 million that year. So just to kind of give you the background in case you don't know, Grant Cardone has a very large sales training organization. He has a ton of people on the phones, and they're constantly calling people to try to close them. And I asked the question, I said, "Hey, I'm just curious, what percentage of your sales come from the very first reach out?" You know the answer? 2%. 2%. Now, this is a professional sales organization trained in every area of closing and persuasion, etc., and they close 2% of their first sale. So knowing that, does it make any sense at all that you don't follow up? Maybe, just maybe, their salespeople have more experience than you, but 98% of their sales come from follow-up. And I have so many stories. I'm going to share with you 2 quick stories. So my thought around follow-up is I follow up in a couple different exceptions. I follow up until they pass away. That's my, if I read their obituary, you know what, I probably should stop following up because it may offend the widow if she's checking the messages. Clearly, they're not going to be joining. There are some exceptions. Number one, if I find out they're in another network marketing company, I'm not trying to break up a happy marriage. I'll wish them well. I'll stop following up. Or if they're really rude to me. So if someone's really rude to me, that's how they're going to treat other people in the team. I don't want that energy. I don't want to deal with the drama. Do I want to bring them home to mama and meet the fam? No, I do not. So if they're rude, I mark them off the list. But without those exceptions, I'm continuing to follow up. Let me give you an example. So I ran an event down in Fort Myers, Florida. I currently live in Naples, Florida. I ran an event in Fort Myers, Florida, and I'm teaching my follow-up system to the crowd, and I'm sharing exactly what I just shared with you. And there was a guy there, Dean, who used to work for a payroll company, and he raises his hand, and he says, hey, can I show everyone something? And he shows his phone, where I had texted him every few months from 2009 to 2016. And so I'm telling you, I practice what I preach. Now, Dean never did end up joining, but you know what? I didn't even remember following up with him because my follow-up system is just simple. It's fast. It's pretty easy to do. And I'll teach that here shortly. Let me share with you a different story, though. I had a guy that I followed up with 6 times, and I'm going to follow up with him the 7th time. He's told me no 6 times. And on that 7th attempt, he finally decides to join. He goes on, and this is my buddy Steve, he goes on to become a 6-figure earner, left his job, and is now full-time in the industry. If I follow up with him 6 times, none of that happens. You have to understand that there's a way to follow up without being a pest or without bothering them or bugging them. And I want to show you that system. So before I walk you through my follow-up system, do you have someone in your team that isn't making money? Because the chances are they're not following up. Feel free to share this with them and they'll thank you later. All right, so how to follow up. I'm going to break this down into 2 categories. People that never have responded to you at all and people that have. Because they are different. They are different categories. And so let's just go over the category 1. So category 1, maybe you saw someone on Facebook and you wanted to send them a message. And so you send them a message like, hey, I know we don't know each other. I see that you're in Kentucky. I'm looking to expand my business in Kentucky. Would you be open to take a look at what I'm doing? If not, no big deal. And they don't respond to that. What I would do is I would send them a follow-up message in a few days and say, hey, just want to make sure you saw my message. Let me know either way. Then I would also go on, if you're using whatever social media you're using, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, or whatever, I would also go on their social media profile and I would drop a comment on one of their posts and say, hey, I sent you a message. Check it out when you have a chance. Thanks. That will increase the chances of them seeing that message, responding to that message. The final message that I'll send to someone who just isn't responding, at least it'll sound like the final message, is, hey, looks like this is something you're not interested in. I'm going to mark you off my list, but I wish you the very best. That's the message that has the highest chance of success, of them actually responding. Now, do I really mark them off my list? That's up to you. You're going to be connecting with so many people if you follow our different strategies that you may decide if they don't respond at all for 3 or 4 different messages, maybe I just don't even connect with them. That's up to you. Now, if you go back to my story of Dean with the payroll company, that's someone I knew. Someone I know, I'll treat a little differently than someone I don't know that never responded to 3 or 4 of my messages.
All right. Now, I would be unethical if I allowed this to continue. Because one of the things I've learned from Dr. Delatoro McNeil is that you take from someone else's presentation and you salt and pepper it, or should I say, spice it up. Because I have a predisposition to high blood pressure, so I am pretty much on a no salt diet. But you season it, you spicing it with your own ideas. No, the social media follow-up, I think that sounds good. That sounds good. Yesterday, in addition to the podcast, I made a speech about Anyway services, which I put on YouTube. And I believe I've shared it on my Facebook business page. I've shared it on Truth Social. I sent out to the president of our Toastmasters Club. I want you to think about this. The systems, there's nothing wrong with calling up people on the phone to talk about business in some ways. But the phone can be a friend in other ways, in that we can click into social media and really get things done. Okay, so there you go. You really get things done, and you see through them. You follow through with them. You follow up. What I would do is, one thing I learned is in a network meeting, if someone has seen your presentation, you know that they've seen the presentation, like at a Zoom meeting or a home meeting or a hotel meeting. Around here in West Texas, it's Zoom or home meetings. But the last thing you want to say is, so what do you think? No, I think one of the best ways to look at it, and now that I know that that's not a good idea, one of the best ways to deal with that is to go to that person afterwards, but as soon as possible, and say, hey, what is your next move? We need to see if you have any interest at all, whether you want to be a full partner or someone that you just want me to consult with to get in some services. And see, I like how he put sales in its proper place. See, my generation and younger, the ones who are entrepreneurially minded, quite a few of them are stepping away from sales. It's sales, yes. But I like a more friendly word of consulting. So, a consulting way of following up is not, so what do you think? It's more like, so it's your move? What's the next thing? What do you want to do? And, I said we're going to have two options for me to work with you. We can become partners and work together. Or you can let me consult with you to find which services best fit you. Which ones are suitable. Because it's funny, a lot of a couple of the networking models I was in, one was like, don't talk about the product. Just talk about the opportunity. Or at least that's the impression I got from my ex-wife, which, to be honest with you, that's the wrong way of doing business. That's the wrong way of doing business. Because if you want to do business, you want to present to your clients the quality of your product or service. You've got to be able to deliver. And that's what follow-up and follow-through is all about. Okay? What do you think? It's kind of like a presentation that I did yesterday in Toastmasters. What do you think? You go around with somebody like that, and maybe they don't want to do the business with you. What, if you come around with an attitude like that, what do you think that's going to say? Well, I don't want to sell on this. I don't want sales. I don't want to do sales. I don't want sales. I don't want to do sales. Well, you've got to approach it with the right mindset and the right attitude. Some entrepreneurs say they don't need mindset training. Let me tell you something. In this past several months, in the home meetings and the Zoom meetings I've been to, the mentors and the fellow associates in business have told me, yes, you do need mindset training to be an effective entrepreneur. Because if you have the wrong, shall we say, obsolete method of following through, well, what do you think? You're not going to have the right mindset. And that's the problem. Because if you think about it, I have a friend, and she said, well, Jimmy, you're selling ACN. And when I did my speech yesterday, I kind of corrected. I said, I'm not selling. I'm consulting. But of course, afterwards, a couple people challenged me, saying, well, you're selling. Okay, in a blunt sort of way, it is. But you forgot that you guys need to please keep in mind this. I have a political science training. And part of that political science training, and this is going to sound ironic, in the political research course, which has a lot of statistics and numbers, the beginning of it, they teach you the pattern of wordplay. Why do you think I podcast? Why do you think I blog? Speaking of which, I may do a blog today. I haven't decided yet. I may do a blog today where I talk about this and put the podcast up on there so people will know. But here's the thing. Okay, listen to me. Here's the thing. I can come to you on my podcast and talk to you about what I do with my company all the time. But you know what? That doesn't always do it for you. That doesn't always reel in customers for me. No. Empower your pattern. I think you need to learn more about me and my methodology. And so the Higdon's mode of follow through. To tell you the truth, I like that a lot better. Follow up and follow through. I know it sounds strange. I know it sounds like something that, but I was introduced to an organization, and I guess it was my second networking business model, and they put me under this one guy to be my sponsor. Excellent man. He had a decent mindset. One huge problem. No follow through. No follow up. You know what hard lesson I learned from that? No follow through. No follow up. After people see your presentation, no money. Eventually you lose trust. Now, in many ways, I'm trying to be nice about this. I'm going to give them their fictitious names to protect their identity. Seth and Mary Lou Stone. They're wonderful people. Hey, Jimmy, dude. We need to find somebody to get to this meeting. Hey, Jimmy, dude, can you help me motivate the team get to the meeting? But yet, follow through to help me get to the meetings. I eventually lost trust. And you know what? If there's a loss of trust in your upline and stuff like that, and you're going out there trying to present, you know what? People read that. And so I'm glad to hear Ray Higdon talk about his follow-through and follow-up. Because, that's what patterns in business dictate. After you get them to come to as much as look at the presentation, you have to put on your consultant's hat and have the right mindset. Listen to me. The right mindset. And say, hey, what's your move? I'd like to work with you. And there's two places in my company. You can become a partner, for minimal investment. Or I can consult with you to see what services you might qualify that best suit you and best suit your needs. It's just a unique way. But then you follow through, like what Ray Higdon said, brief messages on social media. And if you can contact them, fine. Let them know what's up. Because follow-up and follow-through are key to this business. Follow-up and follow-through are keys to your success. If you don't do those, how can you expect to have any income at all? And people get frustrated. Well, how come I'm not making any money? Well, get people on my team and everything, and that's the thing I think is going to be fun. But I'm not making money. This is frustrating me. Grow up. Follow up and follow through. It's kind of like what my current upline is. I've seen her model. And let me tell you something. She's a very persistent lady. Now, all she had to do was talk to me about it once. Because if you know from this series, I was down and out. I felt like I had no purpose. Now, I have some semblance of the purpose. Now, I've been taking time off from my political podcast and my business. But you know what? This ain't over yet. I'm going to keep moving. And we all should. We really should. Okay? Hope you enjoy listening to Empower Your Pattern 2.0. If you like what you hear, please subscribe, become a part of Pattern Realm. Until next time, this is Jimi Hendrix saying, don't just sit there and take it. Build your dreams so you can take it. Do what others don't so you can be what others won't. And do what others won't so you can have what others can't. Please share this with Mama Son, Papa Son, and everyone. This is Jimi Hendrix saying, until next time, choose, act, and pursue happiness. And remember this, from the bottom of my heart, Jimmy loves you. I really love you.